NFL Hall of Famer and legend Lawrence Taylor offers his stamp of approval on Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt. So, the greatest player to ever play defense in the NFL is arguably former New York Giants outside linebacker Lawrence Taylor. The best defensive player in the NFL right now is arguably Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt. Both players were able to have huge impacts on games and could single-handedly change the outcome with impact plays, forcing turnovers, strip sacks that changes the game. And just recently, on the Manningcast broadcast during the Steelers-Giants Monday Night Football game, Taylor gave his respect and stamp of approval of TJ Watt, comparing their styles of play. So, before I get into his quotes, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. And now, let's get right back into it. So, here's Lawrence Taylor's quotes about TJ Watt. He's strong. I like the way he uses his hands, just like I used to do. I love the way he uses his hands, get the blocker off him, and always in the right position. So I'm cool with him. End quote. So, like Lawrence Taylor, Watt is almost unblockable. In Lawrence Taylor's 13-year career, he tallied 142 sacks, while through 7.5 years, Watt already has 103 sacks. As Taylor said, one thing that makes Watt so good is his hand usage, whether that be his dip and rip move where he rips through the tackle's arms to get past, or his ability to shed blocks to stop the run. Watt's hand usage allows him to be effective in both the run and the pass game, and you think of him getting sacks, but rush attempts, he always stops them and they have to run to the opposite side. And when he is ran to, he always sheds the block quickly and is able to get tackles for loss. So TJ Watt is more than just an edge rusher who can get sacks, but could also stop the run. And that's something that Lawrence Taylor did as well, which made him unblockable. And when you look at TJ Watt, he is more of an outside and edge rusher than he is a power and bull. I mean, his hand usage sometimes is overlooked as he blazes past the tackles to get to the quarterback. But Watt is an elite run defender, and you can't use speed to defend the run. Watt is great at shedding blocks, and teams will eventually intentionally not run from his side. So you look at Watt, and he also uses his hands to bat down passes, because while part of his ability to bat down passes is a high football IQ, his hands have always been good, and his hands always find the ball. Whether it's strip sacks or batting out passes, Watt is able to do it. Watt has a total of 47 pass breakups and 7 interceptions in his career. In addition, Watt is great at punching footballs out with 31 forced fumbles to his name. You look at Watt and you think of him as a guy who strictly rushes the quarterback, but no, he does it all. He's able to bat down passes, and whenever he tries to sack the quarterback, the first thing he always goes to is punching the football out. Whether it ends up being a strip sack or not, he never just does not get the sack. Usually when people go for a strip sack, sometimes they don't end up taking the quarterback down, but TJ Watt does both. He goes for the football, and he takes the quarterback down all the time. He never misses. So TJ Watt, just like Lawrence Taylor says, his hands are elite. And it's not just punching the football out against quarterbacks, it's also against running backs and wide receivers, just like he did in the Raiders game. So you look at TJ Watt and you look at Lawrence Taylor, and just like Lawrence Taylor, when we look back at the NFL history years from now, TJ Watt is just over 30 years old, barely. And he will likely be in the same conversations as Taylor as long as he stays healthy and continues putting up the numbers that he's been doing recently. Watt is still playing at an extremely high level and showing no signs of slowing down. He may even be able to surpass Taylor on the all-time sacks leaderboard by the time his career is over. TJ Watt is a player who's been overlooked many times in his career. He led the league in sacks 3 years since he's been in the league, but only won Defensive Player of the Year one time in 2021. So he's been overlooked many times, but he even has the all-time sack record for most sacks in a season. tied with Strahan. So you look at TJ Watt, and he's just a great outside linebacker, great edge rusher, and great player in general. And great players make impacts on games, and TJ Watt does that. It doesn't matter if he's shut out for the first 3 quarters, first 4 quarters of the game. He will eventually find a way to make an impact on the game. And that's just what happened on Monday Night Football against the Giants. He did not have a sack in the first half. He didn't really have impact plays in the first half. Yes, you could say it's because he has been double teamed, chip blocked, everything like that. But when he is one-on-one, he makes the team pay. And in his limited opportunities one-on-one, he was able to get 2 sacks and a forced fumble that completely changed the game. And not only did he get the forced fumble, but he recovered it himself. So TJ Watt, when he is left one-on-one and not chipped, not double-teamed, he makes impact plays, and it doesn't matter if he shut out the entire first half, 3 quarters or whatever. When he is given the opportunity, he makes impact plays. And that is why this week, he won a Defensive Player of the Week based off his performance against the New York Giants. So this is a great honor because Lawrence Taylor, one of the best players in NFL history, not even just on the defense, just altogether, gives his stamp of approval and gives the flowers to TJ Watt and live on ESPN's broadcast. So now let's move over to another topic of this video. I talked about TJ Watt winning Defense Player of the Week, but there's some other players on the Steelers that did the same thing. So when you look at Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Calvin Austin, he won Special Teams Player of the Week for his punt return touchdown of 70+ yards against the Giants that completely swung the game in the favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers and gave them the lead. You also look at Beanie Bishop Jr. He won Rookie Defensive Player of the Month for getting interceptions against the New York Giants and the New York Jets 2 weeks in a row and make an impact for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So those players won Defense Player of the Weeks and Defense Player of the Month. And when you look at the impact that they've had on the Steelers, especially Beanie Bishop, he's been talked about a lot for his mistakes that he's made on defense and not really being up to speed as a rookie. But in the last 2 weeks, he showed why you stay with a rookie, because he's only had limited snaps in the NFL. This is his first season in the NFL. Mistakes are always going to happen, but he's been talented enough to make plays in college, and eventually that's going to transfer to the NFL. And he's been in the right spot at the right time, getting those interceptions and swinging the momentum of the game and helping the defense create opportunities for the offense. And that's what you want. Create turnovers. The Pittsburgh Steelers love turnovers, and Beanie Bishop has done that. The last 2 weeks, giving the opportunity for the offense to put up more points and win the game. Without those interceptions against the Jets, did the Steelers win the game? Maybe, but it really swung momentum with him returning the ball to the 1-yard line and within the 20-yard line on both his interceptions, allowing points for the offense. And then Calvin Austin third. There has been many punt return touchdowns for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe the last one was Juju Smith-Schuster when he was here, and that was back when he was like a rookie or something. So the Pittsburgh Steelers returning punts far has not been there for many years. Calvin Austin, he's had far punts, but has never been able to break it loose. And he's finally had his impact play. He said that in his interview that he has never gone a whole season without a punt return touchdowns since he's been doing it. Last season was his first, so he had to reevaluate his game and change some things and really kind of utilize his speed more and really focus in and trust his speed. And that's what he did this season. And he's been better at punt returns this season, breaking one far a few games ago and now one for a touchdown. So Calvin Austin third, he wins Special Teams Player of the Week for his punt return touchdown, and he finally makes an impact play. And it was a big one, swinging the whole momentum of the game, basically winning the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers alone. Anyway, that's the end of this video, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on all 3 topics. Basically, TJ Watt getting his flowers by Lawrence Taylor. How do you feel about that? And also the defensive player and the special teams players of the week and month. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about those players as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers, rumors, and all. So stay tuned to the channel if you want full coverage on that. And like the video. Till next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.